there. Making this update here from India. I'm at ashram across the street. I'm actually walking down. This is the Indian Ocean on this side. And then behind me, this side, is the ashram. But I don't want to be filming in the ashram because they don't want us doing that. But I'm making this to talk about the... There's a phenomenon in the sky right now that's really pretty unprecedented. 1/3 of the time right now, the moon in the sky is either joined a malefic planet, which is one of the harsh planets. It's hemmed between malefic planets for actually 1/3 of the time. So let me tell you what I mean by this. When the moon goes into Leo now, which just happened a few days ago, the moon has joined Mars when it goes into Leo. Then when it goes into Virgo, which is where it's going to be on the weekend of January 13th and 14th, when the moon is in Virgo, it's hemmed, which means it's squeezed in between Saturn and Mars because Saturn is in Libra. And then the moon goes into Libra, it's joined Saturn, and then it goes into Scorpio and it's joined Rahu. So what this means is that for literally 1/3 of the time now in the sky, from the time the moon enters Leo until it leaves Scorpio, the moon is either joined a malefic planet or it's hemmed by malefics. And what it means by hemmed is it means it's squeezed in between two of them. So again, when the moon goes into Leo, it's joined Mars. Then it goes into Virgo, it's in between Mars and Saturn. Then it goes into Libra, it's joined Saturn. Then it goes into Scorpio and it's joined Rahu, the north node, and it's debilitated. So we're kind of in this, we sort of started this transit of the moon going into this position a few days ago. Like, believe it, I'm in India now, so the days are a little different, but I believe it would have been like Wednesday in the west with the moon in Leo, join Mars. Then, so since Wednesday and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into early next week, the moon is going to be still in that phase. So you want to know that you might be feeling that sort of intensity when the moon goes into this section of the zodiac. Really 1/3 of the time, so every month, and it's going to be for quite a while, because Mars is going to be in Leo until June of next year. Saturn's going to be in Libra pretty much the whole time, and even when Saturn goes back into Virgo, the moon will still be hemmed when it goes into Libra, because then the moon will be hemmed between Saturn and Rahu. So I don't want to get too abstract here, but the thing to realize is that this weekend the moon is going to be in Virgo, so it's going to be hemmed between Saturn and Mars. Now, what the hemming means is it just shows like an environment of stress. It shows when there's a planet before and a planet after, and it also illustrates a really important astrological principle, which is sort of environment. What this means is that, the thing that just happened before is going to condition the situation that you're in now, and then the thing that happens after is going to condition how you respond to it. This is sort of what the hemming shows. So for instance, let's say like you go on a trip, like I'm in India now. So let's say before I went to India, that would be like the sign before. So that would be sort of like the conditioning factors of the trip, like buying the tickets, going to the airport, all of that would be like, let's say, the sign before. Then join the sign would be like while I'm in India. Let's say while I'm on the trip, that would be kind of the experience, like the experience that you're having at that moment. That's where the moon is at that time. So there was a thing that just happened before, and that's sort of conditioning how you feel now. And then there's a thing after, which is, let's say like after I go home from India, like, bills or something like that, or some sort of stress. So this is what the principle of hemming, this is how it actually works. So it's not really that you, it's not just an abstract principle, it actually shows in...
What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm just making a little video for some people. Hey, how's it going? See? Got a little company here. This will be online in a few days. Is that okay? Okay. Is okay? You let me do it? You let me finish? Okay. little visitors there. So people start looking at everything you do here. Anyway, so this is what hemming illustrates. The environment and the conditions before, then the experience you're happening in the moment, and then what happens afterwards. So obviously when it's hemmed between benefics, then there's an environment of ease and comfort. So there might be, let's say, Venus before, then there's a lot of grace helping you, and then you have the situation that happens, and then maybe Jupiter after, there's a lot of help and assistance. But when you have this environment of stress, which is like over this weekend, it'll be Mars, because the moon has just gone into the sign ruled by the sign where Mars was. The moon just went through Leo, where we have Mars. So then over the weekend it's in Virgo, so we've just been through this Moon-Mars conjunction. Now Moon is in Virgo, and Saturn is after. So we're feeling this environment of stress kind of surrounding us, perhaps. Now, one good thing is that these planets are well dignified. Moon in Leo is in good dignity. It's powerful there, so it shows a lot of discipline and strength. So it's not necessarily that it's bad. Again, we always have to be careful when we use terms like, malefic. It sounds bad. It's not. What happens is the malefic planets give us the capacity to act with strength and force and do things that are right, and give us the strength to do what is right, not necessarily what is easiest. And this is what Mars and Saturn do. If someone has a powerful Mars, they have the discipline to do what makes them strong. Like, for instance, I'm here at the ashram, and my strong Mars is kicking in because I can get up and meditate early, and I don't need to sleep as much, and it's been really great, And Mars gives us the capacity to do that, to, you might say, suffer for our principles and get up, inconvenience ourselves because of what's right. And then Saturn gives us the determination to finish the job, that we started, to not just, want to be comfortable, but to actually finish and have the determination and perseverance to see things through. So this is also very much a possibility at this time, is that we may, if we're on the good end of, our discipline, being disciplined and, acting through strength and the willingness to do what we know is right rather than what is easy, then once this cycle starts, once the moon enters Leo, and we go through these I just got wet, and go through these 4 days actually 10 days of the moon in this difficult spot, then it's not going to be as bad. So this is just something for you to think about, but you definitely may be feeling some stress and some pressure. It's better to have the moon hemmed between malefics that are in good dignity. Dignity is always the thing that you really want. You always want the planet to be in good dignity because that shows the intelligence operating. There's Amrita behind me. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. And so if the moon had been hemmed and the planets are not in good dignity, like they're, sort of messed up, then it's a little bit more of a problem. And this is what happens by the time the moon gets to Scorpio. By the time the moon gets to Scorpio, it could be tough because the moon is debilitated and Scorpio is debilitated. So early next week, when the moon goes through Scorpio, that could be, that's going to be more challenging. So you want to be aware of that and try to get on the good end of these cycles. And this cycle just started a few days ago when the moon entered Leo and joined Mars. And here over the weekend, it's moon in Virgo, hemmed between Mars and Saturn. And then early next week, we have the moon in Libra. And then it's actually middle next week, the moon is in Scorpio. So, little update from India. Amrita is behind me. You can see these are coconut trees, and this is the Indian Ocean here. This is where the tsunami washed over. See, it's quite beautiful. I actually didn't mind getting wet when I got splashed. It's just that I don't want the phone to get wet, of course. But anyway, hope you're all doing well. I'm having a great time here in India. I'm really settled in now, and I settled in pretty easily, actually. It wasn't that hard, but hope you're having a great time, and give me some feedback.
Amritapuri.